Hey Ashley, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Where are you coming from?
So I'm originally from the States, but right now I am traveling Europe, so I'm actually in Italy right now.
Ah, nice. Why are you traveling?
I just wanted something different. I've been in the States my whole life. I've moved to several different states, and it's just a lot different from Europe. I've always wanted to travel, so this has
It's
been
your
a
first
win.
time in Europe?
Yeah, it is. It's been amazing, honestly. I can
Have you
see
been
why
south of France
everyone
yet?
wants to move here. No.
Oh, you have to go south of France.
Okay, I will have
South
to
of
add that
France
to
is
my
really
list
nice.
to check
Yeah, yeah,
out
yeah, yeah.
for
Where have you
sure.
been so far?
So I've been to Italy and Spain so far.
Yeah, Spain still. Which part of Spain did you go?
To Barcelona.
Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, you've got some good places you can go down here. What's the
Yeah.
how long are you planning on traveling for?
So I'm not really sure. I've been working out the visa process. But right now I've been able to do like digital nomad visas, and obviously having a passport from the US has been super helpful. I actually didn't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
I could travel to all these places so easily. So I
Yeah.
don't really have a return date. I don't know if I want to return at this point because I just really like
Ah,
it.
respect it. Is it just you by yourself or are you traveling with
Um,
someone?
it's me, my fiance, and our 3-year-old.
Amazing,
So,
amazing.
yeah, our kiddo is loving it up, so
Yeah, do you know what? It's always good to travel as well. Being like well versed in different cultures and places and stuff, just it just enlightens you to how different life is back home and also how you can be
so
so
different.
grateful as well.
Yeah, it's been I guess, like, you get stuck in your little box and you don't
Yeah.
really see everything that's out there, and then you're like, "Holy cow." What I thought
Yeah.
was weird or, like, what people thought was weird about me in America, people here everyone does it and it's the norm, and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, this is great."
What's been your most major difference that you've spotted, do you think?
I think just like the overall vibe of life. I feel like in America, everything there's so much pressure all the time and it's so
Yeah.
fast paced, and you kind of almost like always feel like a failure no matter how good you're doing. And the vibe so far in Europe, in Spain and Italy, has just been so calm, relaxed, like, oh, it's
Yeah.
okay. Spending time with family is like so much more prioritized, and it's just like a breath of fresh air, honestly.
Amazing. Love to hear it, man. Trust me,
Hmm.
traveling is such a blessing. It's such a good thing to
It
do.
is.
Yeah,
I'm
I
very
even heard that in America, most people haven't traveled outside the country because obviously it's so big. A lot of people
it
don't have
is.
passports and stuff.
Yeah, this was the first time getting my passport actually, because usually if you go on vacation, you just, go to a different state and you
Yeah,
think like, "Oh, okay, it's so different even being like state to state," but you don't understand the grasp of how different the world actually is until you
yeah,
leave the country, really.
yeah. Fair point. All right, let's get into this. Sorry, I got
No, no
listen to your
worries.
traveling stories. I love that stuff. Um, so how long have you been into the real world?
So I started in December 2023, so about a year and a half.
Yeah, nice. And what was it that brought you to the platform?
Um, so I was actually like going through a really rough time in my life. Um, and so I just decided that I needed a change. And my fiance had brought up, he's a big fan of Andrew Tate, like, oh, he has this school, and he would send me videos. And I was kind of like, oh, you send me videos all the time, whatever. But then I was intrigued. So I just decided to join. And honestly, I'm so glad I did.
Amazing. And has he joined as well?
No, it's just me.
Oh, that's a quite interesting. So he was interested in it and liked it, but he thought, send it to you so you could see what
Mhm.
it was.
Yep.
Oh, it's amazing. So
Yeah.
what did you gravitate towards when you first entered the platform? What was it that pulled you in, or
Well, so I like that it's stuff that the educational system doesn't teach you. So I actually went to school for neurobiology. And while I was in college, I dropped out at COVID because we were doing all of our education online, and doing statistics and stuff online is really difficult. So I had already started entering like the entrepreneurial world. I had done a lot of freelancing, but there was no guidance there, and that was something that really sucked. I didn't have anyone that I could kind of go to and figure things out. And that's something that really interested me with the real world, is there's like all these different opportunities and there's professors for each campus, and there's so many positive things. I thought that there was
yeah,
no way I could join and lose something, like that I had to gain something
yeah,
something at least. So
amazing. So neurobiology you was doing before you were studying.
yes.
I would have
Yes.
thought that would have had like a clear path to a career, no?
No, so actually when I started, it was the first year that they had even added the degree to the school. So it was like a
Okay.
relatively new field.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I just, COVID kind of changed everything.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm glad it did because now I'm like, I don't even know if I would have wanted to do neurobiology for my whole life. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't really give me like the free time and stuff that I was looking for, but I didn't know what to do. And my family was very pushing me to do the traditional route. There was no, it was
Well,
you get done with school, you go to college, you get a job, and that's it.
yeah. That's the one thing that is amazing about the school is the ability to be able to move around because it's a lot of it is based on the internet or finding ways to use social platforms to bring an income in. You can always you're not stationed anywhere. Whereas again, like you said, something like neurobiology, I'm guessing that's gonna put you in a situation where you're stationed somewhere and you have a working schedule and you have to go to a building and do this like
Yeah, you're stuck. You're
yeah,
stuck. Your roots are down and that's where you are. And I didn't want to be the kind of person who planned out my vacation to have one vacation a year. It's just
yeah,
not the life that I wanted to live. It was just the only life that I knew knew
yeah.
that I could want. So I'm like, oh, this is what I should be doing. So let's just try this. And
And it's weird. You get you get the peer pressure of the people around you, and obviously they want you to do the best in life. But they don't understand the options that are available, especially from people like before our generation. They don't
mhm.
understand that there's a vast amount of other options we can take now in career path as well, and being able to elevate ourselves. Whereas in it's almost programmed in their mind that you have to go to school, and
And
if you
I
don't
think
go to
it
school,
still is. I think, like, all these options are still available, and people are still stuck in that mindset. I mean, a lot of people will look at me now even, and they're like,
yeah,
"Don't you think you should get a real job?" And I'm like, what qualifies as, like, a real job right now?
yeah,
Because, what I consider what I'm doing is a pretty real job."
yeah, it's true. And you're are you making a steady income at this point?
Yeah, so I have 3 steady clients, and I'm just starting to bring more clients on.
Amazing. And what's that bringing in like not an exact number, like what sort of monthly income does that bring for you, like roughly?
Um,
Like
Probably right now with just the 3 clients, about 5,000.
that's amazing.
So that's been awesome, and I think and this is the truth, I wish
Mm,
I would have listened, so I'm in the SMCA campus, and
yeah,
you can make so much money, but you really just listen to Dylan Madden. Just
yeah,
listen more. Don't doubt yourself because I could have been making so much more money and I was so timid. And I'm not a timid person, like at all.
yeah,
But I was just so scared of putting myself out there and then of being denied and oh, well, I don't know what if they don't like my pricing and I was just undercutting myself and undercutting myself and then I just finally for lack of better words, grew a pair and was like, "No, this is what I'm gonna do," and I did it, and it was successful. So, I wish I would have listened to him sooner because I would have had a lot more success sooner, but it's okay.
yeah. And I think you're right that you speak on that. That fear does hold a lot of people back on a lot of things, not even just like work life, just in life in general. Is that what if, what if, what if? But the more you procrastinate on things, I generally say like procrastination is the enemy because the more that you do that the more you build up the anxiety in yourself to even go forward because you're used to stuttering, you're used to staying stagnant. And secondly, the how can I explain it? Like people are always looking for a purpose, but if you just get started on something, your purpose is to live. And if you get started and
Yes.
do something and you can create a space where you're making money and you've got free time, this is your purpose. It doesn't have to be a singular thing that's your purpose. Your purpose as a human is to live. That's your purpose. It's not to be stuck in a system or stuck in a jail cell or stuck in these 9 to 5 positions where you work for the system. Your time should be your own, and that's what we tried to create in the space of the real world, so that people can work, so that their time is their own. They own that their own space, if that makes sense.
100%. To be honest, I probably wouldn't have ever left America if it wasn't for the real world, but once I started taking small leaps, I was like, all right, the worst thing that's happening is what somebody doesn't respond or I make one financial mistake. Nothing is catastrophic. Nothing is set in stone. You can always bounce back. So what am I even scared of doing?
And
What?
you're right. And let's just say you make a mistake with one client. There's a billion potential clients out there.
Literally
This
tons,
is
so
how you
many.
learn. Yeah,
It's like the money
literally.
here is infinite.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And like you said as well, like the platform's built to literally, we try to take you from position one of starting and learning a skill to position Z of making the money. So a lot of times the students, what they struggle with is they either go like halfway through the course and then they try to do it themselves or try to figure it out themselves. But it's lit. We've put it on easy mode for everyone. Follow the
Yes. You
steps.
just have to listen,
Listen to
that's
yeah,
it.
just listen, go forward and do as you're told, and you will make money. There's no way you don't.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's that, and I think people campus hop a lot, and I think that
Yeah,
is a huge downfall, is, like, you really have to be consistent in one area, and if it's not working after a month, you don't give up. Like, you really just have to push yourself because anybody can do this. I mean, literally anybody.
yeah, yeah. And it should, and that's another thing. We're building something, so you like I said, you have your own time. You're responsible for your own time. Again, the responsibility of your own time is the time you put into something. Do you understand? So
Mm,
you can either put your time in for a job that makes the CEO of another company that has nothing to do with you rich, or you can invest your time in yourself and you can put yourself in a position where you are the CEO, and every time that you invest is invested in yourself. And there's no bigger reward than investing in yourself.
exactly, and as long as you I mean, you don't there can I've met people on there that are very young, that are very young students in high school still. I've met people who are a lot older, who have families, who, are still working a 9 to 5, and they're still taking the time to put the effort into their own business, and they're growing. I mean, it
Yeah,
works.
exactly. How do you find the communities in the real world?
I love it, honestly, because a lot of times in, like, the outside I'm gonna say in the outside world, I'll feel like not on the same page as like friends or family. A lot of people don't understand like why I think the way I do, or why I just, I have a 3-year old and everyone thinks I need to have like this set in stone brick, normal life. And it's just not for me. And everybody's life can look different. But I often feel judged because of that, or like judged because of the decisions I'm making. And I don't get that vibe at all in this community. It's really everybody just lifting each other up. I know if I have a question, whether it's with my personal life, my client, learning the material, literally anything, I can not only come to other students, but come to the captains and even come to my
Yeah,
professor. I mean, there's not I can go there and have any question answered. And I think that's the biggest part about it. That's really like a blessing in disguise. You don't notice it at first, but once you start interacting in the chat rooms every day, you're going to
yeah,
the live calls, you are building real relationships here. It's not like, some Reddit forum where you just
yeah.
like are popping on real quick. I mean, you really build relationships. It's super cool.
Amazing. I love that. I also love the community in the real world, and I love that it's like-minded people building to the same goal, which is to create their own success for themselves. But also, it doesn't really follow the packed mentality of everyone has to think one way. I like
Mhm.
that it's constantly questioned. I like that there's constant everyone just kind of exchanging ideas, which allows everything to be a bit more balanced in life, rather than just like this is how we're supposed to think in society, or this is how we're supposed to think about one thing. There's multiple different ideologies and you come together and you can create a space in which, like I said, everyone can reach the same path. And anytime that you come to a point where you're stuck, there is people there that can help you. The professor will also help where he can, but the students themselves, or people who have got to far places, are also there to help. So you're getting the information in real time in the environment that you're in, or the working space that you are in, real time updates and real life and real time examples and people's thought process of the market at the time. So I really enjoyed that about it.
Yeah, and people just challenge each other overall to just do better and be better, and I
Yeah.
think that's a huge success here. A lot of people have friends, and people actually talk about this in the community all the time about how their friends, wanna go out drinking, or they wanna go out doing this or skip working out, and so it's nice to have the like-minded people who are like, "No, go do this. Like, this is
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
need to do, and you know you need to do it, so listen."
yeah, yeah. And it forces you to hold accountability for yourself as well. Like, it's
Exactly.
I always say this, like, when I'm in the house with the boys, it's very hard to just sit there and do nothing when everyone else is doing everything. Like, I
Mhm.
can't just sit there and not work out if everyone else is working out. I can't, because you feel almost ashamed, like,
What
no,
do
I
you
can't.
look like? What are you doing?
Yeah, like, you just can't do it. So again, in school, it's the same thing as speaking about there, is seeing people do it and being held accountable, and also hearing stories of people like, no, like, encouraging you is a, it's a blessing. I honestly do think that.
It really is.
So, would you say that um, the real world has allowed you at this point here to be able to travel outside of the US? Like, it's given you the financial freedom to be able to do that?
1000%.
Yeah,
1000%. So actually, when I first started the real world, so I used to before the real world, and I told you that I was having a really rough time. Well,
yeah,
prior to that, I was living like my dream life. I lived in Florida. I lived on Sarasota Bay, and I woke up to dolphins every morning. Me and my fiance had a G class and like a built GTR, and we're like living, the life. Well,
yeah.
that all came crashing down, and we literally lost everything. I think we had like a couple $1,000 maybe, and started all of it back up again. And
Wow.
it wasn't easy, and to have
Mm,
everything you've ever wanted and then it just crash and burn is like the worst thing ever.
yeah,
But I did hear something one time that said, if you can do it one time, it's probably luck, but if you can do it twice, like that is sheer discipline. And so I've just told myself that this whole time, that okay, maybe the first time was luck, but I know how ambitious I am and I know how determined I am. So if I can do it the second time, like what is that going to prove to myself? And that's really been like a shove to just keep going, keep going. And now I'm out of the country, which is something I never would have done before. I'm meeting all of these new people. I
yeah.
mean, it's really cool. It's really opened my eyes to a lot of stuff, and I'm not in my box anymore.
I love that. So, do you feel like you've come out of your shell a bit more? Would you say?
Definitely. My confidence, I've never been timid and I've never not been confident in myself, but I definitely, when people are questioning my decisions and what I'm doing, and if I'm, making the right decisions in not only my career, but, my career choices also impact my child, and,
Yeah,
is this a good idea? Should you really be doing this? I I get that support that I need in the community, because everyone is trying to attain this life,
yeah.
to make the money to support themselves, and I think that that's all possible because of TRW.
Amazing. I love that. So, what would you say to the people who are hesitant about joining, or not sure if they should, or
I am
procrastination? Say,
okay. I am so sure of TRW. My son is 3 right now. By the time he is 8 years old, he will be in the real world, because that is how
I
I
love it.
truly mean that. That is how much I believe in this program, and it's not just one campus. I mean, it's in all of them. All the professors work extremely hard. I talk to students who are in all different campuses. Um, the only reason you can fail in the real world is by not putting in the effort and being consistent yourself. And to be honest, like that's a personal problem, not a platform problem.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you. I really do appreciate you coming on. And you know, we're happy that we're able to contribute to your success, and you're able to travel the country with your family, and even just to give you that inner confidence that you feel like you may have lost before, and you're now gaining it back. You now found a community that you fit into, and we're happy that we've been able to assist you in any way in life that we have. So, thank you
Of
for being a
course.
student and being an amazing person.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.